What's the best job for a lazy person? Security guard. Source, been on Reddit the whole shift. I wonder how many people have snuck past you while you were on Reddit lol. Honestly, even if I wasn't on Reddit it'd be stupid easy to sneak past me. According to my contract I'm not allowed to stop people unless the badge reader doesn't recognize their card, in which case it beeps to let me know I need to walk over there and see what's going on. 90% of this job is buzzing guests in. 7% is writing my activity report. 12 o'clock, at post all okay. 1 o'clock, at post all okay, repeat ad nauseum. And the remaining 3% is deadbolting the door at the end of the night. Edit, because apparently this is an issue for some of you. I will admit that 3% is probably an exaggeration of how long it takes to lock a door. However, I would like to backtrack and say that I feel the percentages are actually based on the amount of effort each task requires out of my total effort expended per shift, rather than the time taken to do it. In short, I am right, and you're a bunch of nerds who probably haven't even been rejected from the police academy like the real hero here, me. Back in college, I was a computer lab monitor. I just had to sit in the lab and once every hour count the number of people there. If I was opening or closing the lab, there was about 15 minutes of work for that, but otherwise I could just surf the web or do my homework. I had this job in college. I did two things. Toward the end of the term periodically yell. If you are on Bebo, Facebook, or any other non-academic site, please make room for students that need a computer. The printer also had a green button that needed to be pressed once a paper tray was depleted so it would draw from the other tray. There was a sign above the printer that said this, a sign on the printer that said this, and a sign by the queue to the printer. Still, I'd constantly have to deal with this issue. The printer's not working, did you press the green button? Yes. So if I go over there and press the green button, nothing will happen? Yes. Inevitably I'd press the green button, and it would start printing away. I still have no idea why this would always happen. The failure to read, and then the lying about having pressed the button. But as far as jobs go, this was pretty sweet. Though more busy than a parking lot security guard, which is what I came in here to suggest. I'm a backstage doorman at a Broadway theater. I sit around watching Netflix and Hulu, and all that shit all day. If I'm feeling ambitious I'll read a book or write some stand-up material. It's a pretty sweet gig, and perfect for the laziest of people. Damn, I wanted to work as an actor on Broadway, but the superior job has just been sitting there the whole time. I worked as a security guard for a trucking company on the weekends. The rest of the company conveniently didn't work weekends, so I had the whole place to myself. I worked 12-hour days and walked around a small wing of the property every hour and documented anything that was out of the ordinary. Almost nothing was ever out of the ordinary. Other than that I didn't do anything. It was actually really boring because the guardhouse was outside of the Wi-Fi area, so I blew through my phone data really fast. To cure the boredom and ease my phone bill I bought a portable DVD player and watched every DVD I had. I used to go to the factory where they make giant rotating machinery for power plant generators. It would take a week or more to machine these giant discs, and the machinist just sat there watching this giant, computer-operated machine do all the work. If an error popped up, the machine would stop, sound an alarm on the computer, and the machinist would pick up the phone and call an engineer to come fix it. Also, they didn't do any of the removal or setup. That was done by a team of engineers and transport folks $30 per hour. I'm an analyst. I taught myself a bunch of stuff and spent a bunch of time automating things because I'm too lazy to do them every day, week, month. The person that sit on a chair in the museum. They just sit there in one of the most quiet places I visit. And when a person stands too close to one in artwork, they just cough a little and tell you to step back. Though a friend in college once had this job, and he said that it was so boring there was no way he could keep at it for very long. I had this job at a fairly popular museum. My duties included clicking a counter every time someone came in, and telling them not to touch the art. I wanted to basically die after a while. Lifeguard at the Olympics. You need to be pretty unlazy in the first place to get that job, though. A guy on the surveying crew has the job of watching a surveying GPS unit all day. He gets dropped off with the unit, sets it up and sits there, and makes sure it doesn't get stolen, and that the blow light is still on. That's all he does every day, day after day. He thinks his job is the greatest thing ever. A lot of it related office jobs at big companies involve a lot of downtime for one reason or another, where you're just sitting around waiting for work to come in. Just be careful what you wish for. I did a 6-month work placement at a place doing QC on medical data entry. It was as riveting as it sounds, and due to poor management there were massive stretches of time, like more than a solid week, where there was nothing for us to do. We were literally begging for work because we were so fucking bored. If someone had asked me to start hoovering the carpets, I would have jumped at the chance. Creative jobs like the video games and special effects industries are major exceptions. Can confirm. I work it for a couple car dealerships, and it was literally just me checking out Reddit waiting for work to come in. I maybe had an issue once or twice a week that took me no more than an hour to figure in most cases. The only reason it's work now is because they decide to open up more dealerships that I have to manage, and everything needs to be set up. There are a lot of things to do now. Sigh. Was good while it lasted. Lol. Tollbooth worker. In middle school I had a classmate who did a 4-week internship at a company where they sent him to the gateman. We had some forms to fill for our report in school and this guy just wrote the most awesome stories the gateman had to tell about his job. My favorite was, when I'm bored, and I am damn often bored, I act entitled and punish those drivers who ring the bell angrily. I then let them wait for an extra 20 seconds before I let them in, answering my classmate's question. What was the most critical situation at your job? The gateman said. I once went to the toilet. It was one of these boring Friday afternoons where no fucking body comes in as folks are home early. When I came back, I found one of our customers with his whole fucking entourage queuing up at the gate. 3 fucking vehicles. I dropped my newspaper and hit that gate open button like it could save my life, and boy it did. They just drove past my booth. Lucky me. And that's the story when my bowel movement almost cost me my job. When I'm bored, and I am damn often bored, I act entitled and punish those drivers who ring the bell angrily. I then let them wait for an extra 20 seconds before I let them in. You can sit there slowly aging. You can ring the bell irate and you might be madly raging. But I'm keeper of the gate. You can get all agitated. You can curse your fury fate and you might be aggravated. But I'm keeper of the gate. You can blast my name on Twitter. You can argue and berate and you might be getting bitter. But I'm keeper of the gate. You can sit there busy hating. Cause you know it's getting late for you might be sick of waiting. But I'm keeper of the gate. Copy editor. You can pretty much work out of your own home and be a professional grammar Nazi. Hey is me, but it's really not bad once you build up a client base, since you can literally sit on your ass for hours if your grasp on the language is strong. I used to be a copy editor at a newspaper. Great gig. Worked 4 PM to midnight, so never had to set an alarm. Never had to take my work home or deal with emails or phone calls at home. Steady predictable hours, except in the very rare event of an emergency. Almost no meetings, no need to network or schmooze with leadership or go to any company events, no complicated long-term projects, no need to work in teams or collaborate. Just sat there listening to music, drinking coffee, reading interesting articles and fixing stuff if I felt like it. Those were the days. I worked at a pool the summer after my senior year of high school. I wasn't a lifeguard, I just had to have a person show me their Navy card to get in the pool, and I had to check the pH levels of the pool at the end of every day. Only had to text my boss, could be on my phone the whole day, chilled with my then girlfriend, and ate food. Didn't even have to clock out for lunch and got an extra half an hour every day. The downside was working in the hot sun. You'd be under an umbrella but the job could get boring. Edit. I should also add most of my friends were Navy kids whose mothers or fathers were working, so I would be able to chill with them all day too because it was their neighborhood. All in all pretty good gig if you're lazy. Edit 2. Also one time me and my friends were there and there was a live skunk in the pool filter. He was trying to swim, so we took a pull net and gently pushed him into it and let him down in the grass outside. He was just laying on his back panting frantically, then he jumps up and runs in the woods. I have it on film on my old iPhone. Edit 3. Wow, 1.6k more people like this job than I thought. Guys, you really don't want to work at a pool, Mayo.